I'm going to teach you how to master anything in this video as a Muslim, as a believing person. So you don't have to be a Muslim, you just have to believe in God and you have to have faith in order to actually accomplish what I'm about to tell you in this video. Another thing, I'm not gatekeeping anything. I could charge a lot of money for this information, but I already make a lot of money, so I don't really have to charge for it. Alhamdulillah. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you straight on the platter. Now, what you're going to accomplish by watching this video is, one, you're going to be able to master anything, any skill, make any amount of money you want, if you understand this process that I'm about to lay out to you. And this is going to help you strengthen your relationships. It's going to strengthen your income, your finances, you as an individual, create a better personality. Over traumas, you can quite literally heal yourself from anything through this process. Mastering anything means mastering anything. You can master yourself through this process. Now, the first thing I'm going to go over is, where do we extract information from and who do we extract information from? How do we go about extracting the information? How do we apply it? And I'm going to go over the exact highest level way to apply the information, and then we're going to go over the exact internal state that you have to be in order to do this faster, because some people are going to take this information that I'm going to present to you today and it will take them years to master what they want to master, because they don't actually have the internal state to be able to accomplish what it is that I'm going to present to you. But if you can understand the faith aspect of it towards the end, you can master anything in weeks, maybe even a few days. If you really tap in and lock in, anything is possible. And that is the one thing you have to understand. And when you believe in God, anything is possible. So the first thing is, who do we learn from and where do we extract information from? You need to learn from somebody who has what you want and ideally has been where you are. So if you are broke, you probably want to learn from somebody who is also broke, who is also fate driven, who was also born into a similar situation as you, and now they are in a situation where you want to be. So you want to learn from people who have been where you are and are where you want to be. Now, that is one person that you can learn from. The next area that you can learn from is called specialized knowledge. And this is where a lot of people get very confused, okay? Some people think that, oh, unless this person has exactly what I want, I shouldn't be learning from him. That's not entirely true, because specialized knowledge is one of those things that if you find somebody who understands things at a very high level and can articulate it at a very high level and observe at a very high level, where they can measure your success, that is very powerful. I want you to think of Tim Grover. Now, a lot of people don't know who Tim Grover is. If you know who Michael Jordan is, or Kobe Bryant is, or Dwayne Wade is, Tim Grover is their coach. Now, Tim Grover isn't dunking a basketball. He's not running at lightning speed. He is not even close to being a professional athlete, but he's trained some of the best professional athletes in the world. Why is this? Because he has specialized knowledge. Okay, so you got to learn from people with specialized knowledge who have seen it time and time and time again, and they can teach it in a way where they can observe you and they can dissect what is wrong and they can prescribe you a solution over and over again to be able to get you to where you need to be. Now, you can learn from the education system, but the education system is built in a way where it takes the information and it prolongs it instead of collapsing it. You want to learn from people and learn from places where the information is collapsed so that you can actually take action on it and reap real-time feedback to be able to tell your brain that this is what I'm doing, this is the feedback that I just received, and this is how I can improve on it, right? And this is why I'm not a big fan of the school system. Unless it's applied, it makes no sense. I remember I was in college, and this is why I dropped out of college. I was 3 days into college, and they're teaching me some crazy math, and I'm like, I've already ran a business. I've already scaled a business to $15,000 a month. I was 19 at the time. And you're teaching me math? I want to learn how to take this business to $100,000 a month. I don't want to learn this math. I want to learn how to actually run a business. So I dropped out of school. I knew it wasn't helping me. I probably made more money than that teacher teaching it to me. So the point is you want to learn from people who can, or learn from places who can collapse the amount of time that you need to learn it so you can take action right away and take feedback. Now, that's number one. Now, how do we go about applying this information? Now, there's 4 stages of application. And I'm going to explain this. You might want a notebook for this. So we start with unconscious incompetence. Now, what is unconscious incompetence? Unconscious incompetence means that you do not know that you do not know. You're just going about your life and you had no clue that this is the way that things work. For example, you may have believed your whole life that you have to work a job in order to make money, that you have to go to school, graduate, apply at a job, And that's the only way that you can make money. You had no idea that you could start a business with no money, bootstrapped, and you can make $1 million in a year if you wanted to. You had no clue. So you're absolutely unaware. Okay, so you have unconscious incompetence. What does unconscious mean? It means your subconscious mind has absolutely no clue. It has not registered the fact that this information is out there. So unconscious incompetence. Now that I've told you this, and you become aware to the fact, so it's you don't know that you don't know. Now we're going into conscious incompetence. Now you are conscious to the fact that you have no clue. All right, so first time you ever saw somebody making internet money or making $1 million at 21, right? You're like, huh? This is possible? People actually do this type of stuff? There's no way. And this becomes cognitive dissonance. You almost go into like a culture shock within your own system. You're like, this is possible? There's no way. So that's called conscious incompetence. Now you are conscious of the fact that you had no idea. Now, this is where if you have decided that you want to actually pursue this, you start to look for that master or that source of knowledge to get into the next stage, which is called conscious competence. Now you are going to find that person to learn from or that source to learn from, and you are going to start practicing it. This is called conscious competence, which means that you're conscious to the fact that you weren't competent in it. Now you are gaining competence in it. And the best way for me to explain this and articulate this to you is I want you to imagine that you just moved to a brand new house and you're driving your car to your brand new house or to a brand new place when you moved. You're going to be looking at the maps all the time because you have no idea where anything is. So you have to actually consciously look at the map and be like, oh, I had to turn left here. And every time you make a mistake, you're like, oh, I just made a mistake. I had to go that way instead. You are conscious to the fact that you are now gaining competence. Now, when you are practicing this information enough times, when you start taking an action enough times, because the information is so collapsed, it allows you to take action right away, you are going to make mistakes. Okay, you are going to make mistakes, and what's going to happen is those mistakes are going to allow you to gain new sets of knowledge. You are going to increase your competence. Okay, I want you to think of it like this. The only way that you can know what's ahead of you is by seeing ahead of you, but you don't know what's ahead of you even further. Think of you're in a car in pitch black and you're on a road with no lights. The only light source that you have are your headlights. You are going to drive, but you're only going to see what's in front of you. But the only way you can see what's ahead of the road is by driving further. And this is why you need collapsed information so that you can practice it, so that you can take action, because you're not going to know what the road ahead lies unless you take action, unless you drive. So this is why you need to receive collapsed information from people who are where you want to be and who have specialized knowledge. Now, conscious competence is you constantly repeating those actions, constantly doing it, driving on that road until it becomes unconscious competence, which means that your subconscious has now registered this, and now you just know. Now you just know exactly what you need to do, and you don't have to think about it. I want you to think about you driving home from the gym or from school or wherever you drive home from. Have you ever just drove and you just completely blanked out thinking about God knows when you just arrived in your driveway? That's what unconscious competence is. You just know. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to think about it. You just know how to get home. And this is the same skill that you need when you make money, when you talk to people, when you deal with relationships. That is why when a lot of you guys watch my videos, you're like, how does this guy even know this stuff? I have a lot of unconscious competence in a lot of areas, Alhamdulillah. I don't have to think. I just know. And I don't know all because I'm not God, astaghfirullah. There's a lot more things I need to learn in life, and I'm constantly learning. I constantly apply the principles I'm teaching you right now. I'm constantly looking for new things to learn through this process. Now, once you get to unconscious competence, that is the game. Now you know, but mastery comes from being in a constant state of unconscious competence. Now your job is to observe. Now your job is to actually look around you and be like, whoa, I know this stuff at a high level. I can dissect any information. I can look at somebody's relationship and completely tell you where it went wrong. I can look at somebody's business model and know exactly where the bottlenecks are so that they can make even more money. That is unconscious competence. Now, this is very, very fast information. I hope you're taking notes. And now we're going to go into the faith aspect of it. The only way for you to accelerate your unconscious competence level, to get to that level, is by having tawakkul. Now, what is tawakkul? I want you to imagine your ideal life. and a life that you can actually believe, okay, that you actually have high faith in, that you can accomplish. Feel that peace and ease. Do you feel it? The peace and ease? That is tawakkul. You have to be in that state at all times. It is a state where you are completely detached, completely letting go, and you have faith that you are going to be guided, that you are on a river and that river is just flowing and it's going to take you where you need to go. But when you take information and collapse time, and when you go through the process of unconscious incompetence, then conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, and unconscious competence, that is you taking paddles and rowing yourself faster. And if you can have tawakkul, if you can have faith, you're putting on the jets, the motor, and you're supercharged towards your goal, because you're going to see every single cognition, every single synchronicity. You're going to receive every message from Allah. Allah is going to guide you, because when you're in a state of peace and ease and you're not anxious and when you're not forcing anything, it's like Allah is literally taking you by your hand and taking you where you need to go. Especially if you asked Him, you made dua, and your intention is pure and you are completely letting go. And a great way to do this is to say, I really want to have this thing in life, but I'm okay if I don't have it, because I love Allah so much and I trust Allah so much, right? And that is the best way to get in a state of tawakkul. And forget all the conditions, forget thinking, oh, it has to happen this way or has to happen that way. Just let go. Allah's plan is way better than yours. Allah's plan will quite literally get you to the place you need to go much faster than you could possibly get yourself. So I don't plan much. I just set the intention, I go through this process, and oh my goodness, you can master something in exactly a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Very, very, very fast. Okay, so I hope you took notes on this. This is very high level information. As of right now, this video is somewhere around 10 minutes. Okay, so you just got 10 minutes of sauce. I want you to replay this video, actually take notes, and start applying it. Now, what you're gonna do is you need to first write out, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to accomplish? You want to make more money, you want to have a better relationship, you want to become more charismatic, you want to become a better Quran reciter, right? Whatever it is, write it down. Okay, now figure out who do you have to learn from, who actually has what you want, okay, or who has a specialized knowledge to teach you what you want in collapse time, and then go through the phases, all right? Go into conscious competence and practice, fail. Never be afraid to fail, because failure is actually one step closer. Every time you fail, your brain is registering that as this was not the right way, so now I need to go find the right way. And when you find the right way, you do that enough time until you get to unconscious competence, and the whole time you need to be positive, happy, have tawakkul, be in a neutral state almost, right? And be in a state of peace and ease so Allah can guide you accordingly, because maybe the teacher that you originally found is not your end teacher. Maybe the mentor that you originally found is not your end mentor. You can find a completely different mentor as Allah's guiding you. You can find a completely new information as Allah's guiding you. I have my cousin who started off with calisthenics with me, and now he started working with a coach, 2 years ago. He started working with a coach. I let him. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the ego. I don't have to be your coach all the time. Allah's guiding you towards somebody better than me. So he started with that guy, and now my cousin's a coach himself. What an exceptional experience he went through just because he understood these things, and I mentored him. I taught him this stuff, right? Now, I don't take any credit for his success. He worked very, 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 very hard. That's all due to Allah. All I did was show him the message, help him discover it, and that's all it is. So that's what I'm doing for you too. I don't take any credit for your